Join me as I dive into the terrifying true horror story that happened to me and try to face my fears by sharing every chilling detail. I've always been drawn to the supernatural and the unexplained, but nothing could have prepared me for the eerie encounter that left me shaken to my core. I was home alone on a stormy night, the sound of thunder booming outside my windows. The lights in my house began to flicker, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Every creak of the old wooden floorboards made me jump, and I found myself constantly looking over my shoulder. The air was thick with an unsettling energy, and I could feel my heart racing with anticipation. My senses were on high alert, and I was waiting for something to happen, but I didn't know what. The darkness outside seemed to be pressing in on me, making me feel trapped and vulnerable. The storm raged on outside, and I tried to distract myself by watching TV, but my mind kept wandering back to the strange feelings I was experiencing. I started to feel like I was being watched, and the sensation sent chills down my spine. I tried to tell myself it was just my imagination, but the feeling only intensified as the night wore on. I began to feel like I was losing my grip on reality, and the fear was suffocating me. My breath caught in my throat as I heard a strange noise coming from upstairs, and I knew I had to investigate. I slowly made my way up the creaky stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. The noise had stopped, and an eerie silence had fallen over the house. I reached the top of the stairs and saw that my bedroom door was open, even though I was sure I had closed it. A shiver ran down my spine as I approached the door, and I felt a presence behind me. I spun around, but there was no one there. The presence seemed to be lurking just out of sight, waiting for me to let my guard down. The days leading up to that night had been strange, filled with unexplained occurrences and an increasing sense of unease. I had been experiencing vivid nightmares and waking up with a start, feeling like something was lingering just beyond the edge of my consciousness. I had tried to brush it off as stress, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. The nightmares had been getting more intense, and I was starting to feel like I was losing control. I was desperate for answers, but I didn't know where to turn. As I delved deeper into the mystery, I discovered that my house had a dark history. A family had lived there before me, and they had experienced similar strange occurrences. I started to feel like I was uncovering a sinister plot, and the more I learned, the more I realized that I was in grave danger. The house seemed to be exerting some kind of influence over me, drawing me deeper into its dark world. I was torn between my desire to uncover the truth and my fear of what I might find. The events of that night were just the beginning, a warning sign that something was terribly wrong. I started to experience strange visions and heard whispers in my ear when I was alone. The presence I had felt that night became a constant companion, always lurking just out of sight. I knew I had to take action, to confront the evil force head on and reclaim my life. The visions were getting more vivid, and the whispers were getting louder, urging me to take a step into the unknown. The turning point came when I stumbled upon an ancient ritual that had been performed in my house. It was a dark and sinister ceremony, designed to summon a malevolent entity from another realm. I realized that the family who'd lived in my house before me had been involved in the occult, and they had unleashed a horror beyond their wildest imagination. The entity had been awakened, and it was feeding on my fear. I knew I had to stop it, but I didn't know how. The ritual had been performed in my basement, and I could feel the dark energy still lingering in the air. I knew I had to destroy the ritualistic symbols and break the curse. but I was afraid of what might happen. The entity was powerful, and it would not give up without a fight. I steeled myself and began the ritual to banish the entity, feeling its presence grow stronger with every step. The air was electric with tension as I waited for the entity to make its move. As I look back on that experience, I realized that it taught me a valuable lesson about the power of fear and the importance of facing my demons head-on. I learned that sometimes the things that go bump in the night are more than just our imagination, and that the truth can be more terrifying than fiction. The experience left me shaken, but it also gave me a newfound appreciation for life and a deeper understanding of the unknown. If you've got a scary story to share, please leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more thrilling content and true horror stories.